This ain't Leisure World, ladies. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice but to get it. Mandate you get it on now. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you. Good to see you, ELISHA KRAUSS.
Yeah, sorry, I'm shedding my rain layer over here.
Yeah, I like it.
You do? Well, so does my husband.
Good.
And my kitties. They think it's fun.
Well, I hate it when it's hot outside. I just do.
I love to be warm and tan.
I guess your relationship with the heat is sort of your relationship with life growing up. And if you had a life where, like, my folks had a condo in Palm Springs and we would go out there during summer break and it was awesome. We'd lay out by the pool all day and have margaritas or something. But if you grew up in a sweat box in the San Fernando Valley and your only two activities were Pop Warner football and or then later construction.
Yeah.
It was all outdoors. It was no air conditioning and it was always brutal.
You just are like anti the heat.
You're when you think of look, I'm like a Vietnam vet hearing a helicopter. I'm having a reaction.
PTSD.
I have a reaction. You may not have that. You may look at the helicopters. That's the one my dad used to get us from Manhattan. We'd take it all the way over to the beach. We didn't have to sit in traffic.
I love how you think I had this very wealthy
Not
childhood.
you.
I know
I'm
what you
saying
mean.
if one has that relationship.
You know why I love the heat here in California is because I grew up in the Bible Belt where we'd have 100-degree days with 100% humidity. So a 100-degree day without the 100% humidity is glorious.
We don't have it, but I'll tell you the other thing. There's all kinds of remedies now for the heat. Like when I see guys doing work on a road crew or they're outdoors, they do one of those pop-up shelters. And they're down there working on their stuff, but they're in shade. They're in shade. No one ever thought of that when I did it. Nobody ever thought of shade. They didn't even have gloves or broad brim hats or whatever. You were just jeans, boots, sun, and no Vita water, Gatorade.
You were
There's
literally
no
a redneck.
You got a hose, and that's what you got. So that's what I think of the heat. But I just got back. I went to New York.
That sounded like such a fun trip. I got so many text messages from people that were excited that you were there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
And we had a good time, but it was pretty crazy. We got in Wednesday night, kind of late. Had to do a couple of shows at Rodney's on Thursday night in the city. So Dr. Drew did his first stand-up set at Rodney's. I said to him, "We'll do 5 minutes." And then he said, how about 4 minutes? Because really, I mean, people don't think 5 minutes is long. I said, look, one round with Mike Tyson is 3 minutes.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And if the crowd isn't really laughing at your jokes, 5 minutes can seem like an eternity.
Right. So he goes, I'll do 4. So he gets up there and he does 10 minutes.
Stop.
Yeah. Now, he had no idea how long he was up there. You can't expect a rookie to keep track of time or whatever. There was a fucking clock. He could have looked at the clock, but you could never expect Drew to do that.
Was it a good 10? Like, it was a solid 10?
Yeah.
Like, he performed pretty well?
Yeah, he was good. He did,
So he didn't, time himself. I would be so type A. I would be, writing out my jokes, memorizing my jokes, timing myself, practicing in front of a mirror.
He has done so much public speaking.
That's true, yeah.
That I don't think it was the public speaking part. So he wasn't going to, and he didn't care enough, I mean, honestly, to sit there and put the kind of time holding the hairbrush up like a microphone in front of the full-length mirror.
I'd be practicing, even the cord throw that some comedians do.
So you tie the extension cord to the hairbrush so you can go, all right, what else in the news?
And then my mom said.
Where are you from? Dating. Boy, it's tough out there, isn't it? So he did a good 10 minutes. He did a solid yeoman-like stand-up.
Yeah.
And he did stand-up at a stand-up club in between stand-ups. So that was great.
Awesome.
Kat Timp came out from Gutfeld. She was very funny. She did a funny set. We went out and then we did a live podcast, early show, and then a stand-up show for the late show. Great, hung out. Just so you guys know, signed the books, did the autographs, blah 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 blah. Got back to the room, a hotel room, about 12:30, something like that. By the time you get out of there, it's a late night. Had to be at Good Morning Manhattan or New York or whatever it was on the other side of town. Had to be there at 8:30 in the morning.
Did you walk or did you try to cab it?
It's always a question. We cabbed it there, and then we walked back. But
I feel like city walking doesn't feel like real walking.
No,
Like,
I agree, especially Manhattan. I mean,
Yeah, it's the
I love it.
best.
I love it. And it was fall, had a little fall in the air.
best.
And so, but here's what Friday was for me. Got up at 7. By the way, Friday's coming off a Thursday, and Thursday's 2 shows Thursday night.
Yeah,
and then
and Wednesday,
coming back
you
late.
did a show and then a travel day.
Yes.
So you're stacking up all the working hours.
Yeah. So Friday, get up, go do Good Morning New York or whatever I did. Then get back to the hotel, pack up, take a little nap, get my crap together, and go to Gutfeld, which is early taping because it's Friday. In Gutfeld, it's an insane thing. It's a 2:00 taping. At 1:57. Well, first things first. It's a 2:00 taping, and they go, we got to be there by 1:45, which that doesn't exist in show business. In show business, you got to get there 2 hours early.
Yeah, especially if you're a chick like me. Like, I get there
Hair,
90
makeup.
minutes before so they can make me look pretty.
They're like 1:45 for a 2:00 show, and every other late night show is segment producer, tell me a story. 2 weeks before you're hit.
Yeah.
You know, this is just show up. What's going on? I don't know. There's like it's like 1:53 and nobody's there. Greg's not there. Kat's not there. Who the hell showed up? Oh, Emily Campagno shows up. And I'm like, are we starting at 2? Because it's 6 minutes to 2 and Greg's not here.
Yeah.
And then Greg walks in and acts like we're going to go out and get some frozen yogurt or something. Like, what's going on?
Just
All
all
right,
nonchalant.
Drew,
Good
what
to
are you
see you.
doing?
Yeah.
Good to see you. Adam, hey, man, I got your new number. Okay, cool. And then they start looking around, and next thing you know, we're just walking out and doing the show. Fun, good times. Finished that at probably about 3:10. I'm supposed to be the early show at Soul Joel's in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. That's at 6:00.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my gosh.
Did you helicopter?
We are trapped in the middle of the city, in the middle of Fox, and I come walking off stage. It's about 3:10.
Yeah.
And so Mike goes, if we get in the car, Pottstown's about 45 minutes away from Philly.
Oh, my gosh.
If we get in the car, we're not going to make it out. We're just going to sit in traffic.
5 hours to get there.
Yes.
Like, for people that are not in that tri-state area, 5 hours, easy.
Right. So
Who booked this? Oh no! I just.
I mean, this is how we roll. This is how we roll.
Fly by the seat of your pants, man.
Well, the early show was 6. Probably should have made it 6:30 or 7, but it was 6, and then Gutfeld taped at 2, and then ended at 3, and we have 3 hours technically, but also there's an opener who can stretch 10 minutes or something.
The opener can start 10 late, and
the
then
opener can start 10 late,
and then stretch 10.
Right. So we realized that we cannot take a car out of the city because we're just going to sit in gridlock. But what we can do is take the subway out of the city, and we'll get out of the city on the subway on the train, and then we'll land and we'll get our rental car from where we get out off of the train. And Mike had got a rental car
That was good
and
thinking.
figured out the train station was like a quarter, 2 blocks away.
Yeah.
So we'd get out, he'd go get the rental car, come around, pick us up. I'm happy to say that my merch bag, my huge merch bag with the busted handle.
That you fixed?
I fixed that bad boy.
Look at you.
I fixed it Wednesday night in the garage before getting picked up Thursday morning to go to New York.
Uh-huh.
That bad boy had 50 pounds of books in it and one handle, and that thing was getting dragged all over Tarnation or Carnation or Earth, and I don't know where it was. But the point is it held. My handle held.
Uh-huh.
So we're waiting. First things first. So we leave Gutfeld.
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Drew has a town car, has an SUV for him from Gutfeld because he did the show. And they're going to take him cross town to his place. So then Mike says, give us a lift to the train station, Grand Central.
Yeah.
So then, fine. We sit in traffic. It's just tick, 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 tick. The show starts at 6, tick, tick, tick. It get dropped off at Grand Central or Penn or whatever it is.
This is giving me anxiety.
We go in there and they're like, yeah, wrong train station. This is not the one.
You were supposed to go to Penn.
You're supposed to be at another one. And like, where is it? Like 7 blocks that way. It's like, drag the 50 pounds of books through. Everyone's chugging and sweating. We got all our luggage now, too. And get to the train, take the train out, get dropped off. Me and Andrew are there. We got the luggage. Mike's getting the rental car. He's going to pick us up right where he left us off. Mm-hmm. And we're like checking Waze. And it's like, you're going to arrive at like 6:47 or something like that. Mike picks us up. We jump into his car.
Mm-hmm. Was there carpool lane, like fast pass?
It was traffic and more traffic. Plus, we didn't know where we were going. Like, turn here, turn that, We're getting closer. I'm getting on the phone with Rudy, the opener, going, listen, start 10 late, stretch, wait, see for me, I'll come in, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Just literally pull up. I just get out, just walk out on stage. Then there's a late show.
Uh-huh.
Then we're staying with my buddy Nick, who's an hour and a half out of town, another part of Pennsylvania. By the time I walked through that guy's door, it was midnight. But it started at like 7:30 in the morning in Manhattan.
You're like, just give me a drink.
Give me a drink. And I just came in and ate some of his lasagna.
I did ask you, I said, how was New York? And you said good. And I was like, did you have any Italian food? Because that's like quintessential New York to me.
Well,
it's like, got to get the pizza.
Well, the food.
And the Italian food.
The food thing is a funny one. Andrew was with me.
You didn't try to bring back a ribeye?
I did, but that was from Florida. I did bring home a ribeye from Florida.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah. That was brought home. But
You go to Smith & Walensky's and try to fly a T-bone back?
I went to Morton's and I flew a ribeye back.
Yep.
I mean, in my bag.
Mm-hmm.
Checked it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Haven't
It's
finished
your
the
MO.
rest. Yeah, it's my MO. Because we went from Manhattan to Pennsylvania to Philly, then flew Philly to Florida, and then from Florida back to LA. So I did Patrick Bet David's show in Florida, which is Fort Lauderdale, which is its own story. It was interesting. Quite an operation he's got over there.
It's huge.
It's huge.
He just announced something. He and Tony Robbins are doing something together, too.
Well, I got to tell you, with a guy like that, you sit next to him and you realize the power of a motor. I don't know. He doesn't possess a particular trait that would just make you rich on its own. Like I wouldn't call him, he's a gifted comedian or something like that, or an artist or whatever. But his motor, his drive and his motor, everyone hates it. I mean, not him, but when I say to everyone is the problem with the motor is it's like, hey, simple, have a motor. And it's like saying, hey, simple, lose weight, diet and exercise. And you're like, I know. But
I think it might be easier to lose weight than it is to, change out your motor, though. I mean, that's something that it has to be like innate upbringing, parenting, right? I think that,
I don't know. I have twins, so I can study, motor and rudderless. My daughter has a motor. My son doesn't have that motor, and they grew up in the same place. The motor's hard. I don't think you really teach the motor. The motor is sort of
Just
yappy dogs versus sort of nappy dogs,
Yeah.
And everyone knows there's dogs that are just like, yep, 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 yep. They're sort of spinning around all the time. They're always jumping up and down. And then there's like, my dog, Phil, Black Lab, he could be asleep by the front door and someone could ring the doorbell and he wouldn't look up. He doesn't move. And then whoever would come in would have to step over him.
Yeah.
He just sprawled out.
Yeah.
That's his metronome, I don't know. I can't say that you could teach motor. I would say that you could probably motivate it.
Guide it.
I had a motor when I probably always had a motor, but when I was like 19 and living in the garage, I didn't know where to go. Like I couldn't direct it anywhere. It was just like a motor with no job and no outlet, and I couldn't find a place or a direction for the motor, So motor minus direction, but guys with motors and women with motors will find a direction to point their motor.
That's most entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
It's like try and fail, try and fail, try and fail, and then try and have a massive success. And then you roll that into a whole bunch of other things too.
Yeah, back to food. That's kind of great. And Dawson, you'll appreciate this. But it made me think of Mike. So you always have Mike August stories because I'm traveling with him,
Right.
And sometimes I try to distill down sort of the essence of Mike. Like, what is really the essence? And why there's always so much confusion and everybody doesn't know what's going on. And I distilled it down. I came up. By the way, Michael just do stuff like you said, Italian food. Yeah. My friend Nick Santora said, yeah, come to our house. He told Mike or whatever, I got lasagna or whatever. And so so Mike said, so Mike goes to me, yeah, Nick made lasagna. And then I do what I always do. Nick made lasagna?
Right.
Oh, no, it's the word thing again.
Nick made lasagna.
Yeah.
I've never talked, Nick's never said anything about, I don't know, he's been in a kitchen. He's a writer. He made lasagna. Nick made lasagna. That's amazing. I can't, and I'm picturing all the layers and all the work and Nick,
and
spending
how special you must
all
feel that
afternoon.
your friend.
Yeah, and I go,
I'm seeing my mom in the kitchen. It's like a 4-hour process.
Made lasagna. And I must have brought up like 5 times because the whole day. By the way, in this Friday I'm talking to you about, there is no lunch and there is no dinner. There's just boom. It's just going right on through. And so I'm like, when I get to Nick's house, man, I'm going to get into that lasagna, man. And then at some point, Nick brings out some fair to middling, but a little old and a little cold lasagna, and he puts it in front of me. And I go, oh, so you made this, Nick? And he goes, no, I didn't make it. Why would I fucking make the lasagna if I bought it like 9 hours ago? And I go, well, Mike said you made it. And I'm like, Mike, you said 3 times. He goes, I don't know.
Yeah,
like, all right, but stop it then.
Stop
it. Just stop saying it.
No consequences in Mike August's world.
Yes, I just kept saying he made lasagna. He made lasagna.
Now, I do appreciate that, but on the other hand, if he said something like Nick had a kid, you wouldn't say Nick had a kid. That's exclusively to pasta-based dishes? That argument, I think.
Well, it goes into
I think
pizza.
any food.
Well, I got a pizza story, Mike August story for you. I never told you.
Oh.
When we were at Mom Said Yes out in Torrance, and you were on stage, the waitress came back and said, "Can I get you guys anything to eat?" And Mike August said, full-heartedly, "Yeah, let's have a pizza when Adam gets off the stage. Get a pepperoni."
Right. This is okay. I'm glad you brought that up because it's the inability. It's like
he listens to the show every day. I swear to God.
He's listening right now. No, what I'm saying is it's the time I went. God, I can't remember whose I'll think of it, whose podcast I did, but they give you a cocktail.
Oh, I like that kind of podcast.
Yeah, and they Sage Steele, but of course they don't talk to me. They talk to Mike. What's Adam's drink? And so at some point I'm just sitting there, and here comes scotch and soda, just in a tall glass full of soda, scotch, soda water, and I go, oh, okay, scotch and soda. Like, how'd you arrive on that?
Isn't that
and
your
they go,
drink?
well, that's your man said. That's what he said. That's your drink.
Yeah.
I go, who said that? Mike.
Yeah.
Mike's traveled the country with me for over a decade and seen me just done scotch on the rocks, neat, or scotch on the rocks every single time. Never ordered scotch and soda. Never even came up. Been backstage with me a million times when they'd come by and go, you guys want anything? And I go, just do some rye on the rocks or whatever. And they go, okay.
In fact, yeah,
It's never happened. It's never happened. He's never heard it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why.
So he orders the pepperoni pizza, and it's just me, him, and the waitress back there. And I don't want to get into it with Mike. But as soon as Mike leaves, I grab the waiter. I said, "Come here for a minute.
Yeah.
Get us a sausage and onion, and then what's your favorite pizza here? Get us one of those.
Yeah.
And don't tell August what I did. And when you were eating the pizza, you said, this is pretty good pizza. And August, all of a sudden, I saw it in his face. He just realized there's no pepperoni. Where's the pepperoni pizza?
I think, okay, this is dovetailing perfectly into my next conversation, which is the essence of Mike. And
you said you figured it out.
And thus confusion.
Yeah.
Well, I've found the nest. I don't know if that means we've killed the aliens or the cockroaches, but I found the nest. But I've distilled it down to why so much confusion, especially when ordering and food and stuff like that. It's always
Dates.
confusion.
Dates. Remember that one?
Yes. I remember the dates. What's the day? 17th. What day? 17th. What day? Give me the day. Okay. All right, I got it. You can't beat this. And this is how it happens. And by the way, this is where it all goes wrong. This is where it all goes south.
Okay.
A sales rep from Podcast One said, I will order some New York authentic style pizza for backstage at Rodney's. And they knew Drew and Kat Timpf and the whole gang's going to be there. And she was just being a sweetheart. And she said, I'll order some pizzas and they'll be backstage, in between shows. You guys can have some New York pizza. And then I thought, okay, thank you. And then I started thinking about it. And I realized every single time someone orders pizza, it's 3 cheese, 3 pepperoni. Because everyone is stuck in a 9-year-old's birthday party. Come on. And then the bouncy castle.
That's literally what I ordered this weekend for my kids.
That's all they do. That's all they do. And I go, that's true.
Yeah.
It is true when you have 9-year-olds.
But it feels safe, too.
Yes. When you have 9-year-olds,
you got a
go,
vegetarian option. You got a meat lovers
give me a
option.
cheese and give me pepperoni. I don't like pepperoni on pizza very much. It's not horrible, but it's overbearing. It's too salty, and they put too much of it on there. But Dawson knows what I like because he's been around me a little bit. Not nearly as much as Mike with the pizzas.
So Dawson just pays more attention than Mike.
Right.
No, I've heard this for 20 years.
Right. Okay. So
August has heard it for at least 30.
Yes. So now in the adult pizza world, I would say, you know what? Get a cheese, but then why don't we get a black olive pizza, a mushroom pizza, a pepperoni pizza.
Meat lovers.
And we'll do meat lovers or the sausage and onion, but it doesn't always just have to be pepperoni or nothing. A little more finesse, nuance. Like I love black olives or garlic even. Okay, whatever, but it never is. So we're driving to the club and I say to Mike, I go, that pizza, it's going to be 3 pepperonis and 3 cheese. And I want sausage and onion.
Yeah.
All right. So I go, Mike, send her a text and just say, could you swap out one of the pepperonis for a sausage and onion?
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to love this stuff.
It's Adam's favorite.
It's perfect. So he's texting. He goes, sausage. And then I do my spiel. What's with all the pepperoni? It's always pepperoni. A choice between pepperoni, more pepperoni, and lots of pepperoni. Sausage and onion. Sausage and onion. It's so much better, or at least it's more interesting. Or we're all adults. Okay.
I have a huge level of anxiety right now. I'm so afraid of what you're going to say.
So he goes. So I go. I don't know why no one will ever do it. It's not even a meat thing because you got 3 pepperonis. Just have a sausage and onion. And by the way, I've done my experiment. Every time I order sausage and onion, it's always devoured. It's not like people go, oh, yuck, and they hold their nose. Okay. So I go, just order sausage and onion. And by the way, he's heard me yell about it 7,000 times. So then he's texting her, and he goes, okay, yeah, I got the order in. Sausage, onion, anything else? I go, no, just a sausage and onion. He goes, nothing else?
Oh, boy.
Okay, now we're getting into trouble. Now we're drifting.
The Spidey sense
We're drifting into confusion zone. Now we've now what
this
we've
is
done.
almost on you now.
We've
going this
opened.
way.
The window for confusion is not wide open, but we just cracked it.
There's a hole in the screen.
There's a hole in the screen, and we've cracked the slider a little
Flies are getting in.
little bit. So I'm kind of looking at him, sort of curious. I go, no, just sausage. You mean like sausage, onion, and mushroom or something? And he goes, no, just a sausage and onion. I go, yeah, Mike, a sausage and onion pizza. I'm just ordering a sausage and onion pizza, like I always order, right? There's nothing else. I go, no. It's okay.
Literally nothing else.
Got it in.
Oh,
so
God.
I got. So now I'm dreaming about this pizza. I haven't eaten all day, and I'm thinking about my sausage and onion. It's gonna be the red onion, the purple onion, or the yellow onion. I don't know. They mix it up. I'm thinking about it, and she comes in between shows. She's got all the pizzas piled up.
Smell that delicious dough.
And she says to me, she goes, the sausage and onion. I go, yeah, you got one? Yeah, I did. I hope it's okay.
Uh-oh.
I go, why wouldn't it be okay? Well, there's cheese on it. I go, oh, good, right?
Right.
And sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And I know maybe you didn't want it that way. I didn't know what to tell the guy. So I just said, do it this way. You could pick off the cheese. I go, why would I? No, I just want a sausage and onion pizza. Oh, because Mike sent me a text that said sausage and onion only. He added the word for some reason. The sausage and onion was not going to do it. Now he opened the door to confusion because he put the word only when no one. If you just go pepperoni, you wouldn't go only. You just go pepperoni pizza or mushroom. Whatever you're ordering, you don't need the word only because
I thought that the only that he was going to add meant that she only got 6 sausage and onion pizzas and threw out the cheese and the pepperoni.
That would have been awesome for me. The whole point is a word was added that blew the door open for confusion now. And she looked at it and she probably thought, is he allergic to cheese? Like, is he just, because it says sausage and onion only. So are we going to put sauce on it? Are we going to put cheese?
She
thought
girl,
no cheese.
She was probably so stressed about
she
that.
She ended up just saying, just put a sausage and onion pizza. But the point is only screwed her up badly. And I realized it was when Mike turned to me and went, only? Just only? And I was like, sausage and onion, Mike. That's all. And I didn't know enough to stop in the moment and go, do not write the word only on there. Just write, I'm ordering a sausage and onion pizza.
You should almost preview his text messages before he sends them now.
And then I realized when everyone around here gets confused all the time with Mike, it's only because the word only gets added to things. Or it's a version of the word only. Didn't need to be there.
Yep.
Nobody knew what you meant, and you opened the door for confusion.
That's funny.
Yes.
I still feel bad for that poor lady at Podcast One because having been like the support role for people.
Yes.
It's so stressful. Do you want to do your job well and you want to like because you're having fun and you love what you do, but it's a lot of work too. And like you said, you have all these days that you're not eating. And so then as the staffer, you're like, they need to eat. And then if I were to be like, oh my God, Adam only wants this and I didn't deliver that for him and he's going to go on stage starving after a 12-hour workday.
Yes.
Like she was probably spiraling.
Well, you have to, from her standpoint, you're like, he swapped out a pepperoni for a sausage and onion, which is totally doable and understandable. but he added the word only, and now I have to stop. And I have to process this. And now it has to be a coin toss for her. Her was like, why did that guy write only at the end of this? And then am I going to get the guy who bakes it not to put cheese on it? And I think the good news was there was probably a little language barrier and she couldn't even get it. She probably just went, just make the pizza. You know, I don't think she could really get it across. But
like
yes, the word only... If I saw the word only, I would be very confused.
I feel like what we've learned is that your traveling and the stories that come of it could be its own sitcom.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I'm imagining actually her not with a language barrier, but like an old Italian man that's like fourth generation New Yorker being like, what do you mean no cheese?
Yeah.
What kind of idiot wants no cheese? Is he from California? Like, you know?
Yeah. Later on, when we got to Nick Santora's house, we had an epic argument about John Kennedy being buried at sea versus ashes scattered at sea. Of course, Mike knew he was buried at sea, Dawson. I kept saying he's not buried at sea. He scattered his ashes. He's like, buried at sea. Yeah. Like, just dug in. I'm like, why buried at sea? They got his body out of the ocean and they put him right back in as fast as they could. I said, Mike, you need a decree from the president to be buried at sea or you need to be in the Naval Academy. He goes, buried at sea. Thank God for phones. 10 minutes later, it's like, cremated ashes scattered over Chesapeake Bay. Okay, whatever I said 10 minutes ago, I don't know. By the way, I have no idea how many people are so sure about stuff they know nothing about, but that's the most interesting part of life for me.
You could do a brand new stand-up special called Let Me Tell You About Mike August.
Oh, when we were traveling and arguing in the car with Nick just went, this is your show, just in the car arguing over stupid stuff over and over again.
Well, and I think the connection is everybody has a Mike August in their life.
Oh, and listen, Mike's a mule, man. He is a work mule.
That's why you love him so much.
He's powers ahead. Oh, no, I love Mike. Mike's the best guy to travel with. He goes hard. All right, one other thing I wanted to get into. I love, and I never even really thought about it, but I love the phrase, as you were.
Oh, like the military phrase?
All the time.
I just like it because it's if you break it down, it's kind of interesting. It's like the general walks in, everyone was sitting around playing grab ass. All of a sudden they pop up, and then at some point he goes, as you were before I got here.
As you were, return to zero.
I just like it's a good, clean. It's going the way of the dodo, and even the dodo's going the way of the dodo. But as you were is drifting out of the vernacular, and I like it.
I think it's a very selfless way to interact.
Yeah, as
I'm not asking you for any more. As you were.
Yeah, that's right. I like as
peace.
you were.
Peace out.
Mm-hmm. I love as you were.
I feel like it's hard though. How many interactions every day? Like you probably because you run a company and you're a boss. But how many times every day does the average person get the opportunity to say as you were in an applicable way?
You could say it possibly to your kids, but not like they would pay attention to you when you walked in the first place.
Oh, mine do. They know they have to pause the TV if
they
I
do.
Walk into the living room.
They do.
So like as you were for them would be like, oh, now we get to turn the TV back on.
All right. Well, my kids never stopped doing anything just because I came into the room. But if you have kids that you've raised
didn't whoop them enough.
to stop doing things, yes, before, then good. So you walk into the room, pause.
Yep.
And then you tell them whatever you got to tell them.
Yep.
And then it's, I got 3 pepperoni and 3 cheese for the party this weekend.
And then my 4-year-old says, I want a sausage and onion.
What a winner. And then you go, as you were, and they unpause.
The TV. There we go.
Yes. All right. The other thing I wanted to bring up was I saw this Portland nude die-in thing.
Oh, how did you know what stories I had?
Oh, you got
for
that?
Today?
Well, good. You know what? Let's do it then. Let's just do your news. I love this stuff. Simply Safe. Well, you ever wonder about your security system? Like, how secure is it really? I just saw a video. An arsonist trying to torch a family's house. Simply Safe? Well, it stops the guy cold right then, before the flames start. And that's where Simply Safe comes in. You can hear the monitoring agent on the phone with dispatch, a total pro, not sleeping on the job. Most systems, they wait till something's already busted out or someone's standing inside your entry hall or your house is on fire, too late by then. And that's why Simply Safe is different. Their AI-powered cameras catch threats before they cross the line. Real agents confront the intruder, yelling over speakers, sounding sirens, making it clear they're being watched and police are on the way. That's security before the crime, not after. I trust Simply Safe to protect my home, my family, everything that matters. It's Simply Safe, right, Dawson?
You can get 50% off your new Simply Safe system with professional monitoring and your first month free at simplysafe.com/Adam. Just head to simplysafe.com/Adam to claim your discount and make sure your home is safe this year. Keep your home, your family, and your peace of mind protected with Simply Safe. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Select quote. All right, time for some life talk. Life insurance talk, that is. You probably already have some kind of policy, but do you know how much you're paying or what you're really covered for? Odds are you're paying too much for too little. And here's the scary part. If your policy is only through work and you get laid off, congratulations, you might suddenly have zero coverage. That's a bad surprise to leave behind. Now, buying life insurance, it's kind of like a parachute. If you don't have it when you really need it, there is no second chance. That's why I'm using Select Quote. They make it simple. Select Quote has been doing this for over 40 years. They've helped more than 2 million Americans secure over $700 billion in coverage. It's Select Quote, right, Dawson?
Get the right life insurance for you for less and save more than 50% at selectquote.com/Carolla. Save more than 50% on term life insurance at selectquote.com/Carolla today to get started. That's selectquote.com/Carolla.
I saw this Portland nude die-in thing.
Oh, how did you know what stories I had
Oh, you
pulled
got
for
that?
today?
Well, good. You know what? Let's do it then. Let's just do your news.
let's
I
just-
love this stuff. I'm fascinated watching adults come undone. Like guys, when I see like women in their 70s screaming, like coming undone,
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by adult because
Did they do the die-in too?
when I was
I think that was part of this.
when I was a kid, my dad's or my mom's or my buddy's friends, like Mr. Vendig. I didn't even know that guy's first name, much less him getting naked and laying down on the street in Portland. And Mr. Vendig, like he would, come home, get out of his jacket and get into his cardigan and like sit down.
Mr. Rogers
light his pipe.
take off his loafers, slip on his slippers.
Adults were adults, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So, according to the AP, naked bike riders demonstrated against federal troops in the quintessentially Portland protest. Look at this. So the protesters are rallying against the Trump administration in Portland, and they put the city's quirky and irreverent reputation on display Sunday by pedaling through the streets wearing absolutely nothing or close to it in a lot of cases.
They're not pedaling.
Right now they're not pedaling.
They're laying down.
They were doing a die-in.
They're doing a die-in.
Dear God, I'm seeing things I don't want to see up on the screen right now.
Kind of like
If they
that.
were pedaling, it's cool. Pedal your ass out of here.
Okay, there was a 51-year-old, a rider named Janine King, called the nude ride a quintessentially Portland way to protest and that it was absolutely necessary. We definitely do not want troops coming into our city.
That'll do it.
And who wants to use that highway that has to deal with you asswipes? Literally.
Lots of skid marks.
Guys have like gravel on their ass. And reminded me, there was a pretty good Queen album cover with a bunch of naked ladies riding bicycles. Remember that one, Dawson?
Bicycle race?
I think that's it. Yeah.
Oh, they called
yeah.
it joyful. They said
Yeah.
that to be nude is to be joyful, and that joy is a form of protest. Being together with mutual respect and kindness is a form of protest. It's your choice how much or how little you want to wear.
I don't get. I really don't get the. I keep repeating myself, but I just don't get the protest that does nothing, goes nowhere. I mean,
And traumatizes the viewer.
we got the No Kings trailer.
Yep.
I don't know if that's part of your storyline.
No.
Okay, I'd like to hear a fella named Joe talk about the No Kings thing because I really mean it. Like I talked to people who went to the million woman march here in 2018
in
or
their
something.
pussy hats and stuff.
Yes, and I said, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "We don't know." And I'm like, "Well, what are you hoping to accomplish?" And they're like, "We're just together," And I'm like, I need a little more of a theme if I'm going to push back.
A goal.
A
like
general
a goal.
vagary of no kings is not enough, but we'll hear what he has to say. Sorry.
Something amazing and unprecedented is going to happen in this country, the United States of America, this upcoming Saturday, October 18th. This upcoming Saturday, October 18th, will be the largest peacetime protest in American history. Think about that for a minute.
Okay.
This upcoming
so many
Saturday,
filler words.
I know, because
October 18th.
So serious.
Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of Americans will organically take to the streets. In some 4,000.
All right, pause for a second. I am literally obsessed with self-important people. I have an obsession. I have an obsession with self-important people. I realize. I don't know why. I'm fascinated by really self-important people. Also, people that talk and say nothing. He's
wasted so much time to fill 90 seconds of like millions and the pause. By the way, he totally read a cue card because he forgot peacekeepers or peacemakers on had to read it.
All right, so we'll hear him out.
Does he say millions again?
I hope so.
In some 4,000 neighborhoods, towns, and cities around America to just reaffirm that basic American principle that this country was founded upon. No kings. Not here. Not in America.
What happened to the whole taco thing? These guys get on to stuff and off stuff so fast. You know what I mean? Remember the whole taco thing?
The diction to make it sound passionate.
All right, and they want what? Like, what do they want? What's going on? I don't
also,
get what the upside is.
Also, is it really organic if you're spending money to market it and asking people to come?
In his favor, as retarded as he is, at least he didn't say full period, stop, or full stop, period.
Yeah, I like when people say full stop. Yeah.
I blame social media for that. I feel like that started in the Twitter era.
Oh, George Conway has a good one too. Oh, this is good. This is what's her name's husband? Yeah.
Authoritarianism. It's a cancer. The symptoms are here today. Masked agents grabbing people off the streets, the government threatening and prosecuting political opponents, attacks on free speech, soldiers in our cities. We thought it couldn't happen here. Other places? Sure. Italy in the 20s, where fascism was born. Chile, Russia, Venezuela, Hungary. And now the disease is growing. The cancer metastasizing in America.
Hold on, stop there. I love that chick getting dumped on her keister. By the way, that was from some bitch fighting.
That image is so gross.
Some bitch was like fighting with ICE officers like 3 days ago outside of Portland. They just pushed her away. So I don't know if that's cancer, authoritarianism. I don't know how Stalin or Mussolini would have treated you in that situation. But that's just we're just taking some dumb chick who was in the way of federal agents and pushing her out of the way from 3 days earlier. But anyway, here's the whole thing. If you got cancer, what do you do with cancer? You cut it out. You have to kill the cancer. You have to radiate the cancer. You kill the cancer.
Surgically remove.
Yeah,
chemo,
so if there's a
radiation.
cancer and that cancer's name is Trump, then it would make sense to try to cut him out.
Yeah, but no. Words aren't violence anymore.
No, I know.
Only if it's from the right, not the left ever.
So this ass tard is doing what? We can keep playing.
Wait, who's his wife?
in America.
Oh, what's Kellyanne Conway?
But there's a cure. It requires you. On October 18, at the nationwide No Kings protests, Americans will stand up peacefully for what makes America, America. Scan the QR code to find your local No Kings event. Show them you're not afraid. Do it for the country, for the Constitution, for your family, for yourself. Do it for your freedom while you still can.
Before what?
I thought they got a divorce.
I think they did. Before the jackbooted thugs show up at your doorstep and demand your children.
If I were somebody that marched in the civil rights era, I'd be real pissed off at the comparison between then and now.
If you were someone who survived a camp in Nazi Poland back then, you should be super insulted that they're calling everyone Hitler.
Or even the internment camps that we had, like friends of mine whose families were interned here in the United States. Very different time than now, guys.
Yeah. Sorry, Dustin, you were going to say.
Yeah,
It's funny, though.
That made more sense than what he had to say.
Why am I so amused with it? And then why do I feel zero? I cannot tell you how many times people told me to be scared of something. And I go, yeah, I don't care. And they go, you got to be scared. And I go, I'm not interested in being scared. By the way, I don't think that's a good way to go through life.
You don't have like a fear factor? No pun intended.
No, I don't have that gene. I woke up this morning hearing two big sheets of glass in my home getting blown around by the wind and the rain and
well, at least it was raining. Otherwise, I think that would have like infiltrated like some PTSD from the fires.
It was a major issue with two big sheets of glass that were like flexing and smacking each other. I thought it was going to break, and it was kind of crazy. But I was like, I got to fix it because I'm not leaving because it's leaking and it's going to shatter because it's flexing. It was two big panes of glass that come together in a 90, and they were seamed with silicone, and the silicone had gone bad. And they were blowing out and now not held together and thus flexing and making all kinds of scary noises. And I was like, this thing's going to break.
Yeah.
And by the way, if it does break, it's bigger than a sheet of plywood and the wind's blowing and water's just going to blow in. And there's no putting plastic up. Like it's going to be a $10,000 move.
So that scared you, or just you're like, oh no, must fix. And you're not afraid of fixing it.
My girlfriend said, what are you doing? Like I was like inside on a ladder, and there's two sheets of glass that were like smacking back and forth and making noises. And yeah, they could have blown out, or it was above, like second story type stuff. There's an element of heritude. It was a little hairy in there, but I figured out I was on a roll, man, because I just fixed the handle of the merch bag.
Like, I fixed the
last
handle.
time I was there.
I can fix them.
And I just looked at it and I was like, I know exactly what I need to fix this, at least temporarily, which is clear 100% silicone in a caulking gun.
Yeah.
And that clear packing tape. That stuff that just can do anything. And these two sheets were like slapping around and bowing, and the wind was gushing and rain was hitting and it was leaking. And so I just put a long strip of tape down it just to lock it off so it wasn't smacking. Went and got the silicone gun, blah, blah, blah. Just shot a bead 9 foot long all the way up and down the thing, put two more pieces of tape over the bead like to lock it off and dry it, whatever. Fixed it. It was a little element of
the what
people
if.
Could be scared about it.
And I think that's what this like No Kings BS is all about. Is they think because of the rhetoric from the left, oh my God, Trump is a horrible fascist dictator. Look at all these things he's done. Look at the free press he's shut down. Look at the rights he's taken from women, yada yada. And so then they think of well, if we don't go out and protest, what will happen next? And I think that people are more afraid of not what they're currently in, but the A through Z rabbit trail of what could happen.
I don't know. I mean, I do remember being really knocked off balance when I went and talked to my dad when my dad was like 85 or something. And my dad's not a political guy. He's not a guy that brings up subjects and just kind of lives in his own quiet world, you know. And at some point, he started freaking out about kids in cages. This is like 8 years ago or something. He said, Trump, he's putting these kids, he's locking these kids up. They, you know, whenever I hear hyperbole, I stop listening. You know, they're tearing them out of their mom's arms and throwing them in cages. My dad started like spinning out. And I was like, oh, old man, they got you, didn't they? Like they made you go nuts at the end of your life.
But that's
like,
not fair, because I think that sometimes old people are more prone to be afraid of things.
I get it. He wasn't scared of being thrown in a cage.
Yeah, no.
As long as you could bring his flugelhorn with him, he'd be okay. But I just mean, I'm like, I don't know. What I learned is people's minds are pretty corruptible, and they can do it at a pretty fast pace. And my dad, who never brought up anything and didn't weigh into these things, got corrupted pretty fast. And I thought that was interesting. There's a great clip I heard of Trump today, which is very, I mean, we just heard, Dawson, you heard quintessential Mike August with sausage and onion only, now throwing us all into a world of confusion. I like when I get quintessential Trump. Like, I love when he said, why do you keep saying the virus came from China? Because it comes from China.
China.
I love that. This is very Trump. Like, just listen to how, by the way, and you tell me what he got wrong about this. Go ahead.
You talk about the Argentina and important in the Latin American. What is your plan for Venezuela? But is the terrorism, the narco-terrorism in the President Maduro? What is your plan?
Well, Venezuela's done a couple of things very badly. Number one, we get drugs and all of that. But we get something in a way worse, because they're a big purveyor of drugs, but we have worse. What they do very well is they send their criminals into the United States, and they send Tren de Aragua, that you know very well. You're from Venezuela, I assume. And they send them in by the thousands, literally. And these are the worst of all. And they empty their prisons into the United States. They empty their mental institutions.
All right, pause it here. Now, here's where it goes into super Trump. This is just middle of the road Trump.
The Tren de Agua.
This is where we get into Trump. And I always picture Joe Biden sitting at home listening, if that's possible, to any of this. But here we go.
And because we had a president who's low IQ, he didn't realize what was going on. And the people that are high IQ that surround him, but they happen to be lunatics, radical left, they're highly intelligent, radical left lunatics, okay? So in a way, that's worse than having a guy like Biden. But they ran the show. You heard about the Europen. The person
he goes on for 10 minutes, but he's basically just going, you know, Joe Biden's out of his mind, so he's an idiot. So, but then there are other people that are smart, but they're radicals, they're nuts, and they're wrong, and then they ran the show. And it's like, yeah, that's what happened, everybody. That's what we just experienced for 4 years. I know you're interested in stopping kings. I'm more fascinated in this and stopping what that was. Because that's a wide open border. Also, listen, if somebody said to me, Adam, I'm going to be the king of California. And I was like, okay, what's your platform, king? Well, we're going to close the border. Oh, okay. Clean up graffiti. All right. Get this homeless problem situated. Yeah.
Stop the illegal flow of drugs.
Stop the illegal flow of drugs and pull the plug on the bullet train, which is going nowhere, but I'm going to clean up San Francisco and LA. I'd go, king away. Yeah. King away. Go knock your fucking kingly crown off trying to do all the shit I'm happy you're doing now.
I love that these are also the same people that love Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and probably want him to be king.
Yes.
You know, it's like, wait a second. I thought we were anti that. Like the royal family, you're anti-kings and fascists, but you support them in Cuba and China. And
they're a little inconsistent, is what I would say. I want to hear the last 45 seconds of that one more time when he just casually talks about
low IQ.
Biden not knowing what's going on. I'm just picturing Biden sitting around. If his ice cream probably fell in his lap.
Ignoring Kamala's calls. Did you see that story?
No.
She said that he hasn't called her back.
Biden.
Yeah.
Well, Jill hasn't called her back, but yeah, go ahead.
Tren de Aragua, that you know very well. You're from Venezuela, I assume. and they send them in by the thousands, literally. And these are the worst of all. And they emptied their prisons into the United States. They empty their mental institutions into the United States. And because we had a president who's low IQ, he didn't realize what was going on. And the people that are high IQ that surround him, but they happen to be lunatics, radical left, they're highly intelligent, radical left lunatics, okay? So in a way, that's worse than having a guy like Biden. But they ran the show.
All right, that's it. Well, there you go, everybody. Hey, you want to know what the last 4 years were? There you go.
There you go.
There's a 40-second soundbite that'll teach you everything you... History teachers, throw away those books. There's 40 seconds there of what the last administration was.
If AI doesn't delete it.
And I know you guys are scared about kings, but I would be scared of a wide-open border and fentanyl. All right, my dear. ELISHA KRAUSS, where do people go? The weekly op-ed at the Washington Examiner. Andrew Klavan, the wise one, the author.
So good.
And the commentator. He's going to be up, and we'll talk to Andrew Klavan right after this. O'Reilly Auto Parts, pow. Yeah, you know the jingle. These are the guys that keep your car on the road so you don't end up on the shoulder looking like a dope. Friendly, helpful service. People who actually know their stuff, not just a kid who'd rather be staring at his phone. Always use these guys. One to the one in Glendale, one to the other one in La Cañada. Just trying to get my car running. Vintage race car. They need work. They need prep, and that's where O'Reilly. That's where they come in. Thousands of parts and accessories stocked in store or online, so you don't have to panic when the check engine light appears. Need wipers swapped, brake lights out? These pros will help you find what you need, or they'll hook you up at the local shop if you're not a DIY type. So whether you're a gearhead or you don't know a lug nut from a donut, they'll walk you right through it. No attitude, just real help. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
This October, fear is free on Pluto TV with horror movie collections from Paranormal Activity, The Ring,
You will die in 7 days.
Scream, and From Dusk Till Dawn.
This is my kind of place.
And don't miss the man-made nightmares in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the world-ending chaos in 28 Days Later.
There's something in the blood.
All the scares, all for free. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
Here's a beat from Beat It Out with Jay Moore and Adam Carolla.
Did I tell you about when my youngest son asked me if my oldest son was Jewish?
Really?
He goes, "Hey, Dad, is Jackson Jewish?" I go, "What? Your brother?"
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Yeah." I go, "How could he be Jewish if you and me aren't Jewish?" He goes, "I don't know how this stuff works." And he goes in his room and slams the door, and I'm standing alone in my kitchen like, Jesus Christ, maybe Jackson is Jewish. That was an overreaction.
Yeah, they're very theatrical people.
Beat It Out with Adam Carolla and Jay Moore. Subscribe to the show at adamcarolla.com/Substack. Let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Andrew Klavan, who used to be Jewish, so he knows, is on with us, author, political commentators, Daily Wire guy, got a book out. After that, The Dark. It is available for pre-sale on dailywire.com/Klavan, fifth installment of the acclaimed Cameron Winter series. And the Andrew Klavan Show is the name of the podcast. Good to see you again, Andrew.
It's good to see you, Adam. It's been a while.
Yeah, I love hearing your voice on the Daily Wire. And I love it when all you guys get together and do your roundtables on political issues and stuff like that as well. I don't know. Maybe people don't know your life, your former life in Hollywood, writing full-length features and books and stuff like that. But what was your sort of Hollywood journey?
The Hollywood journey was just a kind of outgrowth of the book writing. Now, all I ever wanted to do was write novels, and I would write these novels, and they did really well. And then somebody called me up and said, well, I'd like to hire you to write a screenplay. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in Hollywood. And she insisted she said, is there anything you would write? And I said, yeah, there's this book called Shock to the System by Simon Brett. And so she went out and optioned it. So I felt obligated. And they made it it came out of my printer, which at that point was one of those old fashioned spray printers. and they made it into a film with Michael Caine. And after that, I just kept working. And finally, I went out to California for a while because I figured my books were being made into movies, and I thought, well, this will be interesting. And I have to tell you something, anything they tell you about Hollywood not being a blacklist place and not being cut off to conservatives is crap, because they don't have a blacklist during the McCarthy days where they send around an actual list with your name on it. But people say, oh, you want to pitch an idea? Well, I'm heading over to the Hillary Clinton fundraiser, so why don't you get in my car and we'll do that? Or you walk into a meeting and they say to you, whatever, Trump is an idiot. Isn't Trump evil? That'll be the meeting. You'll be trying to sell a script or something. And any idea you have that veers from left-wing ideas, they shoot down. So even if you have a woman in your script who's kind of womanly, kind of feminine and sweet, that's no good. Why don't we do something really different? Like have a woman who can beat guys up. You go like, that's every movie. Yeah, it's really different. We'll do that. We want something that's really different, that's exactly the same as everything else. So eventually, you cannot work and be a conservative in Hollywood. And it was kind of strange. I mean, my income disappeared. I mean, my income was high, and it vanished overnight when I started saying things like, well, maybe it's a good thing to, invade Iraq. Maybe that would be a positive thing. And maybe we shouldn't make movies, showing our soldiers as bad guys while they're being shot at by savages in a foreign land. And that was enough. My phone stopped ringing. I mean, my phone was ringing pretty constantly. I was selling sometimes 1 or 2 scripts a year, which is a really good living. And my phone just stopped ringing. And so it was kind of interesting. Like I never wanted to be in Hollywood. There are people in Hollywood, as you know, who would sell their grandmothers for a chance to work in the movie business. And so if you're in that situation and you want it desperately and it's all you've ever wanted your whole life, I guess you just do what they tell you to do, and that you stay quiet. People like you and me who go off on their own and say, you know what, I can do this without you, are vanishingly rare. And our friends on the right, or whatever you want to call it, the libertarian right, they don't understand what somebody like you has done. They don't understand that, like, you look at the late night shows where you used to be. I mean, you used to work with Jimmy Kimmel. Every single guy with a corporate spot has the same political opinion as everybody else. And they give each other awards for, standing up for free speech by making sure that everybody has, conformed to that opinion. So I found it really kind of, I don't want to say oppressive, because you're making a great living, you're in California, the sun is shining and all this stuff. So it's not oppressive, but I just found it like not doing what I was born to do, which is write books with a vision in them. I'm not a particularly political writer, but I don't want to lie. And if you don't want to lie, you can't write leftist books. So, it was a really strange, kind of surreal, looking back on it, it was kind of a surreal experience.
Yeah, it happens kind of slowly, so you don't fully feel it, because there's not a sort of one day toggle switch. It's kind of a dimmer switch, and the toggle you notice because you go from the black to the bright, or in this case, from the bright to the black. But what if someone just kept dimming the dimmer switch, 1/16 of an inch every month, you know what I mean? And eventually you walk into the room and you realize you can't see your hand in front of your face. Like, what happened? What happened? Well, that's how they do it. There's a social side of it where you don't get the invites to the parties and you get sort of pushed out a little socially. And then there's the professional side. And Hollywood doesn't work like trades work. If you're skilled carpenter, plumber, electrician, you just work because they need you and you have a trade. The Hollywood is, it's funny, and I don't know, Andrew could look this up, but people amuse themselves by saying, Indiana Jones was originally supposed to be Tom Selleck, or whatever it is. There's millions of those. Originally, but he couldn't make it, so they got Harrison Ford. So that's all Hollywood is you were here, now you're out, now he's in, and he's younger, and that guy's
feeling,
you're just in and you're out, and the people that are in Hollywood understand it, and it's not like you're John Jones of the UFC. You say whatever the fuck you want because you can beat anybody, and you're going to make millions, and there's going to be a fight, and they're going to throw money at you. That's if you're John Jones of the UFC. And if you're a kick-ass carpenter, you'll work. You'll work. It doesn't really matter. But actors, writers, all this stuff, directors, it's so interchangeable. Frank Sinatra was supposed to be starring Die Hard.
Yeah.
There you go. You could swap anybody out with anybody, and then as soon as you fall off the grid, 10 seconds goes by, people can't even remember who you were. Like, you're gone.
And it's sinister because, like, every now and again, a producer would come to town. And what happens when a producer comes to town, new producer, new executive, whatever, is he gets a stack of scripts because everything starts with a script. So he gets 100 scripts, and he reads through the 100 scripts. And every single time, the guy would say to me, I called, out of that 100 scripts, I called 3 people. You were one of them because all the other scripts stank and yours was really good. And I would say, great. We'd sit down and have a meeting, and he'd call my agent. I love this guy. This guy, oh my God, he's terrific. We're going to work together. And then I'd never hear from him again. And I would say to my agent, who was a conservative, my agent was an actual political conservative who had somehow made it in the business. I would say, look, buddy, I'm being blacklisted. And he would say, no, they don't all they care about is money. I would say, I don't think so. I don't think that's the way it works because, as you say, it's like that movie Barton Fink where he says, I love that Barton Fink feeling. And then he says, hey, I can get that Barton Fink feeling from anybody.
Right.
It's kind of like that. So they love that Andrew Klavan feeling, but they can get it from anybody.
The studio wanted O.J. Simpson to play the Terminator. So if O.J.
He was busy, right?
If O.J. Simpson, but he'll be back. If O.J. Simpson and Arnold Schwarzenegger can be interchangeable, then anybody can be interchangeable because we all land somewhere between O.J. Simpson and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, that's exactly it. And, you talk about Sinatra being in Die Hard. He played that character in a film called The Detective, which was written by the same author.
Oh, really?
So it was really Die Hard was really a sequel to a Frank Sinatra film.
Right. So now... then what happens in Hollywood is everybody is sort of always running for election here because it's a popularity contest. And you want to be at the parties and you want to be on the right side of everything. And so then something like COVID comes down the pike and everyone lines up and knows exactly what to say about COVID because the second you start saying the wrong thing about COVID, then you get pulled off the list. And since no one needs you on the list, then you're off the list. And by the way, once you get off the list, it's very difficult to get back on to the list, if impossible. So, and that's why they all end up on the same side of every single subject, which is mathematically unthinkable. I mean, you couldn't do it mathematically. I would say to people all the time, if you take something that doesn't have politics woven into it, you take the biggest event every year, the Super Bowl. And if you go around to Hollywood and you talk to people about who do you think? What do you think, Philly or do you think KC? They will be split right down the middle. There will be no 99 think KC and 1% Philly, and we don't talk to that guy. It's just, if it's something, if they're being honest, and it's an actual subject that doesn't carry any weight to it at all politically, meaning you're not going to get into trouble, you'll split it right down the middle with every celebrity. Then COVID comes along, and COVID should have been split. Should have been half wanted schools open, half wanted schools shut, half wanted ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine, the others didn't. There's plenty of room for disagreement on all the subjects that revolved around COVID, yet magically, they all ended up with the Kansas City Chiefs. So you think that's a coincidence? Like, that's statistically impossible.
It can't happen.
It can't happen, but it did. But it's because they're cowards, and they have to end up with the group. Otherwise, they'll get thrown out of the group.
And there's this kind of attrition because you look back at a show like Law and Order. If you go back and look at the first maybe 8 seasons of Law and Order, it's a conservative show in the sense that it supports the DAs fighting these guys. If they have an abortion at the wrong time, they put them in prison. That's murder. Like, put that guy in prison. They had absolutely no political correctness. Slowly, as writers leave the writers' room and new writers come in, the new writers who come in replace the old ones, and the guys who had the vision for the show are gone, and your run-of-the-mill, standard issue left-wing guys going in there. Now, if you watch Law and Order every week, it is a lecture on political correctness. I once asked somebody, because these are Dick Wolf shows. Dick Wolf, famously a Republican out there, but at some point, God love him, he becomes a billionaire.
Right.
And he's not paying attention anymore. He's counting his money, and he's not paying attention anymore. And there's nobody to say, let's keep the vision of this show in place, because they're actually saying the opposite. Let's make this stop before it runs away with us.
Yeah, it's interesting as the older guard sloughs off, the newer ones come in with fresh out of college with lots of ideas and how to express themselves. I'm also I'm drilling down on a kind of feminization of society, and women, I think in general, are less likely to live and let live, in the sense that they don't physically kill as many people as we do. That's kind of our jurisdiction. But women I know, when they hate another woman, they want her destroyed. They don't want her to flourish in any way. They hold like long running. And a lot of it is not because the person punched them or stole their man, but disrespected them or did something, borrowed a sweater and never returned it, or whatever it is. There's lots of petty grievance stuff. And as a male, my take is I don't really care what that guy's politics are, because that's not what we're doing here. He's a good dude. He can do the work. Let him do the work. I don't need to know. Like I guess what I'm saying is let's just say there was a female and she was let's just hypothetical female who's a casting agent or producer, some position to hire people, and she's vegan and she loves dogs. She rescues dogs. And then you find out that the person who's trying to get the job just got back from Arby's and hates dogs. I would say, I want to see that guy's writer submission. I don't care if there's gravy on it. I want to see the guy's work. I think a lot of women would go, fuck that bitch. I'm not working with someone who doesn't like dogs and someone who's not down with the vegan movement. I'm not going to have someone eat Arby's in front of me every day at lunch. I'm not going to. So they would take their feelings and emotions and let them sort of drift into this realm, which then made it possible for them not to hire this person or hang out with this person or what have you. And I think as more and more women got into these positions and became mayors and police chiefs and fire captains and stuff like that, more of this started entering the equation, because I've seen a lot more of this than used to be. And I think it's a feminization.
Well, I will go further than that, and it may get you actually canceled on your own show. You may have to cancel yourself after I say this, that when you notice women take over a field that was previously not taken over by women, it is a sign that field is becoming irrelevant because the men have moved on. So it's not because the women are incompetent or they're not smart or anything like that. It's simply that the men are the guys who go to the next thing. They are the ones who discover video games. They're the ones when we had this golden age of television around 2000, lasting about 10, 15 years, right? All of a sudden, fantastic shows. Why? It was because suddenly there were all these different venues instead of the 3 networks, and they were desperate for material. So they would go to some guy and say, have you got anything? And the guy would say, well, how about a show in which the mobsters are just these suburban regular people like The Sopranos? And they go, fine, we need it. Bring it in here. So suddenly you had like The Sopranos, you had Breaking Bad, you had The Shield, you had You're Justified. All of these macho shows came in where guys were guys again, even though they had to be bad guys because there was no place for good guys in the world. that slowly deteriorated while the men moved on to whatever is coming next, which is probably, was probably streaming and stuff like this. And then you get the women filling those places. And yeah, there's all kinds of reasons why women are more left wing than men are and more strident in their opinions than men are. I mean, certainly when you look at the people who vote, Democrat and Republican, it's the mommy party and the daddy party. And I think that is something that absolutely happened as the movies became irrelevant, as the news media became irrelevant. I mean, you noticed all these female anchor people came in just as people stopped watching TV news. It's not that they caused the death of the thing. It's that the men move on and leave the space for them, and they come in and take over. And so I think that it's not a hit on them. But comedy is a perfect example. I mean, comedy vanished off television. All the shows were absolutely unfunny because women had taken over all of the comedy spots except one, that 1.5 Men, 2.5 Men. What was it called with Charlie Sheen? And that show was hilarious, and nobody could figure out why. I thought, yeah, I can tell you why. It's because guys are funnier than women. They're funny because they have to be. They have to charm women. Women don't have to charm men. We'll follow them anywhere. But men are funnier because they have to be charming. And that was why that show was the only funny show on television. And it's just kind of an amazing phenomenon, and it's definitely gender related. There's just no question about it.
Yeah, and how could it not be? And I don't mean that, as a pejorative, but if you just had guys in any field and it was 99% guys, and then at some point you blinked your eyes and it was, 63% women, the field would change, and it wouldn't really matter what the subject was. It would be taught or approached from a different perspective. That's how it would work, and then you can decide whether that's good or whether it's bad. But what I'm saying is it'll definitely will change.
Yeah, and I mean, if you listen to you listen to a child and you hear the child say something like, "I'm going to take the skateboard and jump off a mountain and see what that's like." That's the little boy, every single time. And so, you do a show about, like The Sopranos or The Wire or something like that. That's really difficult. I was writing stories like that. I wrote a book called True Crime, which Clint Eastwood made into a movie, where all of those kinds of characters were at the center. Really tough guys who just didn't care what anybody thought of them, who were constantly getting in trouble with women and all that stuff. And then it kind of moved that. When I wrote it at the time, in publishing, you couldn't do it, and people were upset about it in publishing. But then it went into TV for a while, and there was this moment. Somebody wrote a book about it called Troubled Men or Troublesome Men or something. Difficult Men, that's what it was. It was that golden age of TV. And there's just something really magical and different and creative about guys when they first see something and think, oh, I'm going to do something no one's ever done before. And it just doesn't happen as often with women. It just doesn't. And, I think that is a weird thing. And now, if I haven't ended your career by now, Adam, I don't know what else I can say.
I've been saying this for a long time, so I think I'm all right. It's not really a judgment per se, although there's an implication of some negativity here. But, my ex-wife and I were different in terms of what we did, how we raised the kids, what our thoughts were. Her thoughts would be better for certain things, and my thoughts would be better for almost everything, but not those few certain things. And that's how it works. And to suggest there is no difference is insane, but that's part of the time we're living in. So there's no difference between a man and a woman. And so if there's no difference between a man and a woman, well, then what's the difference between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton? You know what I mean? And I think there's a big difference, and it would be run, the country would be run in a much different way by her.
I used to go on TV, mainstream TV shows and promote my books. And I would say, well, they're about men. And so help me that every female interviewer would say, well, you don't mean they're about men. I'd say, yeah, no, they're about men being men, No, but you don't mean that. No, I really do. I really that's what they're about. And then you don't get invited back on the show. But I think that it's important. Like the books that I'm writing now are really about a guy who is a bad guy who wants to become a good guy, and what's that like? And the reason I started writing about that is I noticed that every manly man on TV was a mobster or a drug dealer or a bent cop or something like that. And I thought, well, wait a minute, guys are good. There are good guys too who are really, really macho, and you call them out when you need somebody, as you say, popped off, or when you need some kind of harsh presence in the world, which, as we have just seen, really has an effect. Like when you watch what just happened in the Middle East, I mean, that's not because we had somebody playing nice. It's because we had somebody say, look, here's a deal. Take this deal, or I'm going to unleash this even worse guy, and he's going to destroy everything you have. It's like in a world where, Donald Trump is the bad cop, and because Bibi is the good cop, where Donald Trump is the good cop because Bibi Netanyahu is standing in back of him, then you have men running the world, and you get a lot more peace, and you get a lot more action going on that way.
Agreed. It's funny. I don't know why you were talking about making films and how woke and everything they were. We never talk about it. But it is a production, and it does have value, and it does cost a fair bit, and they're getting pretty intricate. And I was noticing, I just did a lot of flying, and I was sitting there in United, and I was watching the safety film they run in the seat monitor, and I was looking at that. And by the way, the production's getting pretty grand with these things now. They're spending money on these things, but it starts off first with the black pilot, of course, and then he goes into the lesbian co-pilot, and then and I was like, 15 minutes, I didn't see a white guy, and if they had a white guy, he was just handing somebody a drink or something and scurrying out again, and I realized the wokest productions in the world are the safety films on airlines. When there's, at some point, so it's like lights up on the 44-year-old black pilot, right? Which is fine, but I just took 11 flights and I didn't see a black pilot in the last 11 flights. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm just saying it's a low, statistically lowish. But okay, that's what you want to present. Then at some point, it's the Asian booking agent or the gay guy, serving the drinks. And then at some point, they have to have the couple with the young kids sitting in between them because they have to put the mask on first and then put the mask on your young child. The couple, of course, is mixed. So it's the blonde chick and the black guy. You have to have that. But
have to have that, yeah.
After just a cavalcade of ethnicities and women and mixed couples, I realized this is the most progressive production that you can see. Again, you can watch, they'll do an action movie and the president will be a black woman, but the action star is still Tom Cruise. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Now and he's, his love interest is a white chick. There's some diversity, but not. This is all. The airline safety film production is the wokest of all the productions I figured out. We have. It's 5 minutes. Well, I'd like to see how this works. You'll be hard pressed to just find me one old white guy doing something like flying a plane or something. We'll see if it starts, it's the one I saw the last 5 flights. Homes.com. Some might say Homes.com is the best home shopping site. Maybe that Homes.com's, they're super comprehensive and transparent agent directory. That's what a lot of people say. Or maybe it's that Homes.com is the only site that always directly connects you with the listing agent who knows the home the best. Perhaps it's because Homes.com has the most in-depth neighborhood content of any home shopping site that's extensively researched to highlight the personality of each neighborhood. Homes.com goes above and beyond to bring home shoppers the in-depth info they need. Find the right home right away. I always peruse their site because I'm a fan. Homes.com. That's Homes.com. We've done your homework.
This October, Fear is free on Pluto TV with horror movie collections from Paranormal Activity, The Ring.
You will die in 7 days.
Scream. And From Dusk Till Dawn.
This is my kind of place.
And don't miss the man-made nightmares in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein or the world-ending chaos in 28 Days Later.
There's something in the blood.
All the scares, all for free. Pluto TV. Stream now, pay never.
It's got to be lights up on a black pilot. All right, let's see. No, this wasn't the one, but there he is. All right.
There he is.
Hi, and welcome.
I'm Black
Happy to have
Pilot.
you aboard. And we appreciate your attention as we
I'm
get
not
this
really a
thing
pilot,
off
but that's
and rolling.
enough. All right, so now we're going to follow the production.
FAA regulations require you to follow the instructions of our crew members.
All right, so now, all right, so sorry. All right, pause. All right, lights up, Black Pilot, Lady Pilot. Now, how many flights would you have to go on before you had the Black Pilot and the female co-pilot or vice versa? Like, so already it's airline pilot, which is airline pilot is probably, I'm trying to, up there with professional surfer is the whitest job in the world. And we already don't have a white dude as a pilot, even though 86% of pilots are white. All right. But anyway, so this is how we start. We got a black pilot, we got a chick pilot. Here we go.
Please review the safety card located at your seat.
It's important to have your seatbelt on at all
right.
times.
Woman of, all right, pause. Now we got woman of color, who's doing the, we're not allowed to say stewardess, flight attendant. All right, I'll keep going.
To the buckle. Tighten by pulling the loose end of the strap. Lift the buckle to release. When the seatbelt sign is on, your seatbelt must be fastened low and tight across your lap. In case of unexpected turbulence, keep your seatbelt fastened.
All right,
even
pause.
when the seatbelt.
There's a white dude, but he's off to the side. He's background. Oh, by the way, they don't like the term extra anymore, Andrew.
Oh no, that's gone.
No, your background actor or background. We do stuff like, yeah, you don't do prostitute. You gotta go sex worker. I go, that's not better. That's not better than background. They were called extras for 200 years. It's just like
it increases your dignity. Now you have dignity. As a background actor.
There's a part I got to bounce off with you, which will drive me nuts. All right, we're gonna watch this a little more because then we're gonna get to the smoke detector, and it drives me insane. Insane.
Keep your seatbelt fastened even when the seatbelt sign is off.
In United Polaris business class, if your seat has a shoulder strap, fasten
black
your
guy,
seatbelt
black
and
girl.
Secure the shoulder strap by placing the metal fitting over the lock and pulling on the strap until it clicks. The shoulder strap must be secure for taxi,
All
takeoff.
right, now hold on a second. Am I making this up? I mean, like when here's what I'm saying.
It's like this on Netflix, Adam.
Adam,
right.
Netflix. And when I'm putting this together, I would go, listen, I get the whole diversity thing. But if it's all black people, it's going to be confusing and seem weird when they're 13% of the population. And by the way, I will bet you blacks are 13% of the population and fly a little bit less than the representation of the population. But anyway, all right, keep going.
Release, push down on the metal fitting, and lift.
Please take a moment to look around in order to
Female.
familiarize yourself with the aircraft. This Boeing 777
Two
has
black
8
people.
exit doors, 4 on each side of the aircraft. If the doors are opened in an emergency, slide
All right,
ramps will
pause here.
automatically inflate.
Has there been one white dude in this entire thing that I've now seen 28 people in? Has there been like one white dude going, hey, I know what I'm doing? Listen to me.
Not at the center of it. And you know the worst thing about it's not the diversity, it's the lecturing. It's people you're basically being lectured that you're not good enough to actually accept what you're seeing, and you're complaining about it, so you must be a bigot. But it's not that. It's just like I don't want to be lectured to, especially from Hollywood, the worst people in the country. I do not want them telling me that every marriage has to be a mixed marriage because, God knows they're not famous for their marital fidelity. I don't want them telling me what I should be seeing. It's offensive. It's offensive to be lectured at by people who make movies.
Well, at a certain point, it's distracting.
Yeah.
You see,
It's not real, yeah.
Like when you see your 5th action movie in a row and they're like, Madam President, and Eartha Kitt comes around the corner, you're like, of course. All right, keep it going.
In a water landing, slide rafts detach from the aircraft and are used as life rafts. All 8 exits are marked with overhead signs. As you locate the 2 exits nearest your seat, remember, they may be behind you.
If you are seated in an exit row,
All right,
you may be asked
pause.
to
Probably gay.
I was going to say a little bit light
gay.
there. Yeah.
A little light in those loafers, but I think I think in their mind it's a gay guy, though. They can't go way, they can't have divine up there. But also, if I was from a different civilization or a different time, I'd just go, so I guess airlines are all just, it's all black people and chicks? Is that all it is? Like, I would be confused. All right, we got to get this smoke detector. You can keep it rolling. Sorry.
The crew during an evacuation. If you are unable or uncomfortable performing exit row functions and assisting in an emergency, please ask a flight attendant to be moved. If you must evacuate the aircraft, exit path lights on or near the floor will illuminate and guide you to the exit. Look for a change in color or an exit sign to indicate that you have reached an exit. For everyone's safety, leave all carry-on bags behind. Please refer to the safety card near your seat for the operation of the exit doors on this aircraft.
If necessary, oxygen masks will drop from a compartment above your seat and ceiling compartments in the lavatories.
The mixed couple. All right, we got the black flight attendant talking to the...
Firmly pull the mask to extend the plastic
so you got the black guy or the Hispanic. Let's pause it for a second. Got the black guy, mixed race in the center, and strawberry blonde to the right. So got a mixed couple there. All I'm saying is at a certain point, it becomes distracting. Like, there has to be one white couple with a white kid on this plane at some point.
It's supposed to be distracting, though. You're supposed to know what you're being told.
It worked on me because I studied this thing. But then we're going to get to the lab, the laboratory smoke detector. And Andrew, as a wordsmith, I'm going to need you to weigh in on this one. Go ahead.
And ceiling compartments in the lavatories. If a strap appears and you cannot reach the mask, pull down on the strap to access your mask. Firmly pull the mask to extend the plastic tubing and start the flow of oxygen. Place the mask over your nose and mouth, slip the elastic band over your head, and tighten the straps. The bag may not inflate while oxygen is flowing. Make sure your mask is secure before helping others.
I like the Rhapsody in blue.
You will find a life vest equipped with the water-activated
black
light in a pouch under,
post,
between, or next to your seat. When directed, pull the tab to remove the pouch. If present, remove the strap from around the pouch.
Are they based in Atlanta?
Open the pouch, remove and unfold the vest. Slip it over your head, wrap the belt around your waist.
This angers me. Get ready. Hold on.
Pull the loose end and tighten.
Now.
Inflate your vest just prior to exiting the aircraft by pulling down sharply on the red tab. You can also inflate the vest by blowing into the tube.
All right, hold on. This drives me nuts. They go blown to the tube, and then they hold the thing up like a dandelion, and with their lips 3 inches away go, it's like, bitch, that's not how you inflate that vest. That is, why are you putting this on film? You want this plane's going down to Davy Jones' locker, we're all holding this tube 3 inches from our face going, like we're trying to get a bottle to whistle.
It's also, can you tell me now on the test, can you tell me where that inflatable device is?
No,
I mean,
it's in 7 different positions. But all I'm saying is put it in your mouth. It may be homoerotic. Put it in your mouth. That's how you blow it up. You don't hold it 3 inches from your mouth and blow at it. What other safety film would they tell you the incorrect way to do something?
To be fair, it was a white guy who built that little maze with the ball that rolls around.
That's
they
true.
Couldn't find anybody else to put it together. Yeah.
All right, back to the black chick. All right, Dawson, stop. Am I making any of this up? I mean, this is nuts, right? We got one gay guy, one gay white guy so far.
You would think that the population would mirror this.
Yes. All right, go ahead.
Infant life vests, which will be distributed if necessary.
Smoking, vaping, using e-cigarettes, or smokeless tobacco are not allowed on this aircraft. FAA regulations prohibit tampering with, disabling, or destroying lavatory smoke detectors.
Stop it there. Okay, another chick. So that's just chicks and blacks. But tampering with, disabling, and destroying. I want to have a seizure every time I'm on a flight. It's just tampering. Tampering's enough. It's all covered with tampering. You cannot tamper. You can't. If you disable or destroy a smoke detector, you first tampered with it.
You have tampered with it. Yes, no question about it. Yeah.
Every airline does all three.
Also, I noticed they deliver this girl. She's like very pretty, and she's walking along kind of with a little bit of a wiggle there on that machine. I think they're kind of seducing you into not tampering with their stupid smoke machines.
Yes, for you, my love.
For you, my darling, please, sweetheart, don't.
Yes, one more time. You guys have all heard this every single flight. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying the lavatory. It's just tampering. All right, I could say you can't touch it.
Smoking, vaping, using e-cigarettes, or smokeless tobacco are not allowed on this aircraft. FAA regulations prohibit tampering with, disabling, or destroying lavatory smoke detectors. U.S. law also
If I ever sit next to Mike Cox on a flight, whenever this part starts, I punch him in the shoulder 3 times. Tampering with, disabling, or destroying.
Don't do any of those things.
It's been going on for so long, and every airline says exactly the same thing when you had me at tampering. But disabling would work as well, because you're really just saying, I want to smoke in the bathroom, but there's a smoke detector, so I have to disable it so I can smoke in the bathroom.
I do think, at this point, Trump has been signing all these executive orders. It's time he got to important stuff like this. Like, we don't have to listen to how to buckle a seatbelt on a plane. They shouldn't be allowed to keep talking. After all the federal regulations, they shouldn't be able to sell you a credit card. You're stuck on this little tube hurtling through space. These are executive orders we need, enough of this ICE stuff. And
I agree. Yeah. Border, boring. All right, we get it. Yeah, but how about them blowing into the tube to inflate the vest?
That should be it's an EO right there. They must blow directly into the tube.
I want to see those lips hit that tube.
That sweet lips, that's right. Exactly.
I want that, and I want tampering with. I will accept one of the 3 selections. I will not accept all of them.
Yeah.
I will accept tampering with, or disabling, or destroying, but not the trifecta every single flight. Or maybe I'll trade you. You can take destroying, but I want the lips on that inflatable vest.
Right. After that, I also wanted an EO telling waiters to slow down at restaurants, so I'm not shuffled out of there in 45 minutes. If I go to a restaurant, I want to sit there.
I do. I'm
close to 2 hours. These are EOs we need. These are the EOs we need.
I'm with you, and you can get rid of this now, other Andrew, producer. I agree. I find that I go out to eat to enjoy myself, not so much for sustenance,
Right.
I could have a hard-boiled egg at home. Right. Yeah, let's have a drink. Let's have a conversation. Right. And they'll come by and they'll go, can I put in that? And I'll just always go, we'll just order an appetizer and some drinks, and we'll just sit for a while. I'm with you.
And they always say the same thing. They always say, no rush. And then they come back 5 minutes later.
Right.
Are you ready now?
Right.
5 minutes after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily, I since I usually go out to eat with my wife is like the sweetest human being on earth. And she'll say, sweetheart, we're going to finish our drinks. So we don't want to see you again until, and they're always so charmed. They kind of go away with little hearts in their eyes and they just leave us alone. But it's hard work. It's hard work to get 2 hours out of a restaurant. Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's EOs. This is where the executive order should be aimed. No question about it.
And also, if you sort of look at it like restaurant going out to eat, and it's getting really expensive now, in a way, it's sort of by the hour. You know what I mean? Like if it's $300 and you're in there for 55 minutes, then you just spent $320 for an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
If you can spread it out over 2 hours, now we're at $1.50 an hour, so like, a reasonable therapist. Andrew Klavan, let me give you a plug. After that, The Dark, you can pre-order at the Daily Wire right now, dailywire.com/Klavan, and also listen to his podcast, The Andrew Klavan Show, as well at the Daily Wire. Andrew, say hi to all the boys over there from me.
Hey, I will do it. They love you.
Always great to catch up with you, my friend.
Yeah, good to see you, Adam. It really is.
Thanks. We'll talk soon. I'm going to be at Flappers out here in Burbank on October 29th, and then in Boston at the Wilbur Theater on November 6th, and then Buffalo, New York at Electric City on the 7th of November. You go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. And we had a new fire vlog out a couple days back. You can check that out as well. Until next time, it's Adam Carolla for ELISHA, KRAUSS, and Andrew Klavan saying mahalo.